morning. It's Sunday the 21st of May and I think we're overdue a plot tour because it's been a while since we've had a little bit of a visit and there's quite a lot of things that have changed actually. So we'll quickly whiz outside and have a look at what's going on out there because we've got into that time of year now where it's really busy up here, and to film a plot tour without interruption and noise and people kind of walking onto shot and all sorts of stuff, it's getting a little bit sort of thin on the ground at those times. So it's not quite 9:30 Sunday morning and we'll have a look outside and see what we've got and see what changes have been made. So outside the greenhouse, all these mustards, look how tall they are. They're as tall as me and taller, all in flower. I've left them here because the pollinators absolutely love them. But yeah, soon they're going to be over and I'll need to think about what I want to put there. And the rocket as well, yep, that one's bolting away now. That's done really well, that completely overwintered, it were really strong. And a bit of couch grass, of course, haven't I? But yeah, really pretty. Nice to have a little bit of height at the side of the greenhouse, even if it's just from some bolted mustards. And my lobjoit's cos as well over winter, that one's flowering as well. Oh, hello shadow. So, round the back, where I call the shady bed, the corn's gone in. This is the incredible F1, so that is the tall, regular sort of corn. I have got some little mini pop, little baby sweet corns as well, but they're somewhere else. Yeah, and some lettuce in between. The cos, again, Webb's Wonderful, and they've done really well. I thought they might have got slugged off a little bit. They were a bit experimental when I put those out, but yeah, doing all right now. In the middle bit, we've got some Kerr's pink main crop potatoes, 8 of them I put in there. Might have squashed them in a little bit, but never mind. And again, bit of lettuce, bit of a catch crop in between. And here's hopefully the prize winning parsnip bed. Now I've got a few missed stations like there, but I have poked a couple more seeds in the ground. I just did that yesterday. So we'll see if we can fill those gaps, and I've had a couple of casualty lettuces there, but again, never mind. Still got those two and then this little row there. So, yep, they're doing nice. And I was saying in one of the earlier videos that because we've got such terrible mare's tail, there's a bit of a problem with trying to keep it weeded out of this bed. So as you can see here, I've got a bit that's coming up literally right at the side of that parsnip. And if I pull that out, I'm in danger of disturbing the root that's, well, it's not going to have much of a root on it as now, but I'm going to disturb this plant. And with it being a root crop, I really don't want to do anything below ground around here. So I am having to be really a bit careful and cautious about how I get rid of this stuff here. But yeah, I knew this was going to happen. It's an absolute pain. And it doesn't look too bad because I did go around and sort of hand weeded this last night. Although, oh yeah, there's a bit there. Yeah, when you pull it off and it starts growing again, it starts forming like a little star, and then multiple shoots come out of the one point that you broke off. But they're normally quite easy to get hold of and you can sort of give them a little bit of a tug. Not that much has wanted to come up there. Oh, there we go, a bit of root out, but next to nothing compared to what it's got under there. Yeah, there's a little bit sneaky in here that I missed. But yeah, it's like a daily event really. There's another one there, see. Oh, is that showing up? A bit poking up there. But we've got what we've got, haven't we? Sort of got to put up with it. One really big change that's happened at the back of here is brand new raspberry bed. I finally got it done. I did this over Easter. So it's just got a little bit of a decking edge to it, so I've got something I can sort of trim up to. It won't stop the runners coming out and going across because it's only just above ground, is that? Nothing's buried in the ground, so I will have to pull up runners, but I'm not so fussed about that. But yeah, most of my raspberries, there's still a weedy tub over there that I've not done, couldn't fit it into this. But they've taken nicely. And they're flowering. So, there will be raspberries this year. Maybe not too many, but some. And that's something to be said, isn't it? And we've got a few little poppies that I found germinating here and there, which I've just slid into this bed. just for a bit of variance. And again, little experimental cosmos I put out there just to see if it survived, and it has done. It's done really well. But yeah, this one's hoeing off because I dug it all over and it germinated all these weed seeds, didn't it? Which is what happens when you dig stuff over. So yeah, I need to get the hoe in here because it's a nice hot warm day today and they'll all die if I get those hoed off. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Just look at the size of the comfrey now. I mean, this is nearly as tall as me. So this is well overdue cutting back. In fact, one of the jobs I've got to do today is I've got a bucket of comfrey tea from last year and I could do with decanting it all into some bottles that I've got and starting a fresh batch in that bucket of this, giving it a bit of a chop down because it's well overdue, isn't it? And then it can sprout again and then we'll have some more. But yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? And the bees are absolutely loving it. It's pretty little bell-shaped flowers. And the buds are really cute as well. These little groups of buds there. Try and get it into the sun. Yeah, lovely. It's already buzzing this morning. All the bees are sort of going round it and having the breakfast. And there we've got the big cornflower. And it's doing what it does, it's sort of flopping all over, which is why I tried to tie it up with some sticks last year, but my string's broken. Now I can't get to it really. Yeah, there's some bees in there as well. So yeah, this is lovely. In fact, I pinched a bit of this, I dug a clump out and I took it home last year and it's flowering at home as well, so hey, why not? But yeah, I inherited this. I didn't plant this originally, it was just something that was found under there when I cleared it. So, where the runner beans grew last year, I'm putting some borlotti beans in here. In fact, I've done it. So I need to give this a water because I've poked a couple in per stick just underneath here. And you put them on this side of the cane, not on the back side. You put it on the bit where it's sloping towards, because as this grows up, it'll naturally hit that cane and then it takes the hint and starts coiling up. If you put it on that side, it starts growing up and flopping around. You've got to try and tie it in a little bit better, but here it's a bit more chance of doing it of its own accord. So yeah, they're all below here, but yeah, it's a bit dry that I don't need to water it in. And then, if I ever get my sunflowers germinated, so I've only got my little Dorrit ones germinated, my tall ones aren't doing much yet, but generally I put the sunflowers across the back of here and then they grow up the fence on this structure, and then the neighbours over the back can see them and their kids as well can admire them when they get tall. Yeah, not quite there yet with that, need to do a bit of weeding. Yeah. And then this tarp and the wood that's actually hiding under there, that were all wrapped up here, trying to kill off this bit of grass ready for this being done. So that just got moved to this section here to start killing this bit off. So there's a load of card under there as well, so that should do it over time. And then I can do something else with this area. But yeah, over in that corner, that's where this legendary pond's meant to be going into it, but it's just never coming to the top of the priority list, that. And I do need to trim again. Oh, it's growing like crazy. Oh, can we film this without the sun? On the end of the shed as well, might be a bit hard to see because it's in shade. I've actually attached 3 old sticks that I grew borlotti beans up last year. It's came out of this pile that's just sat here. Strung some string back and forth, and then I've got some troughs with the sweet peas in now. Now I do have to put some bark in that one because that were a later addition. I thought I could only fit 3 down there till I got them and went, oh no, I have got room for other one. So yeah, I'll get that done today as well. Let's have a close-up. Yeah. So we've got them attached into the shed in a few points and a load of string going back and forth, kind of working around my cistern planter. And then these sweet peas are all starting to take to that now. Yeah, oh, they're doing really well, aren't they? That one's getting quite tall. And they'll find the strings and make their way up eventually. But yeah, they're going to be really pretty when they start flowering. This gets sun sort of midday in summer and then through to the evening, because the sun sets, if we sort of spin around, the sun sort of sets kind of over here. So it does get quite a reasonable bit of sun, so I think they'll be okay. But hopefully it might help keep the roots just a little bit cooler as well, because they are only in quite shallow tubs. Yeah, and then because this one's quite tall, on the end of there I've even put a little bird feeder. And the cistern is finally planted up, so the chocolate mint's in there that I bought the other day. Then that's the little surviving mint from at home. So I'm hoping that gets some nice fresh growth on it now, because it got a little bit weedy and a bit thin and pathetic really. So yeah, come on, we want mojitos, don't we? Especially when weather's like this, so grow. Right, now this bit in front of the shed, it's slightly messy. So we've got some amaranth. Now this has been put out, we'll show you that in a mo, but yeah, some left over. My little Christmas tree has got some lovely fresh growth on it. That's quite encouraging. And that's a snapdragon that actually survived through the winter as well. So that's putting on loads of bushiness now, looking nice, getting some buds ready to flower. I've got my 2 blueberries, all flowering. I do like tiny little flowers, they're so cute, aren't they? Like little dollhouse flowers. They're lovely. And now the Christmas carrots that were in the bucket in the greenhouse, the little chantenays. Now, because I've got some autumn king growing in those now, I actually took them out and I thought I'll just try and poke them in the ground here and just see if they'll survive. Anyway, they have done. So what I'm hoping is the few that I've put in there, I'm hoping they'll set seed and I can collect some seed. So, why not, eh? Oh, look, lovely little bit of an interloping mare's tail. Oh, it's everywhere. A few little strawberries. Volunteer sweet pea, lovely. Yep, you can stay. I'll try and get it forced up this cane that's still here. There's a load of calendula as well from last year that set seed. So quite a nice little collection of stuff going on in there, to be honest. And you know, best stuff's grown itself, hasn't it? Try not to trip over because there's rubbish everywhere. And my muscari and bits of stuff that were in here, they're well over now. So I just chopped them down and left them there. But the wisterias survived the winter too. And growing like crazy. So I sort of need to remind myself how you prune these, because it's there's a little bit of a method to it. You can do it twice a year, and there's a proper method to get it making a nice shape. So I do need to remind myself. But things, it were a bit, I must admit, confession time, bit of a silly idea planting a massive wisteria against a tiny shed, because I mean they can get huge. You know, the trunks on them can get massive when they get old. I mean, I don't know, it depends how long the shed stays here and all that, doesn't it? But I just wanted one all my life. Well, not all my life. When I was a kid I didn't know about these, but for quite a long time I've wanted a wisteria. But I do have to make more support across here, because it's already flying off the top of it, trying to go to space. So yeah, whoops, I do need to get on with doing something with that. And streamers here, so hopefully we'll get tidied up a little bit. But the asparagus bed, that's doing brilliantly. So this is into its 2nd growing year, so I've been really good and not picked any. I was tempted, I must say. I mean, it's growing lovely, but no, mustn't, no, not allowed. So yeah, all these fronds are up now, feeding the crowns, making them nice and strong, so we can eventually pick them at some point, but not yet. These are still establishing. I did sneak a couple of little chards down the bottom as well, and I've got some leftover raspberry canes out of one of the buckets. I'm really pleased with those though. Yeah, it's doing nice. And then we've got the little apple tree, the little L-star apple, and this one's flowered as well. It's just gone over now. It's just finished flowering. There was some down here that flowered a bit earlier. So, you know, a little baby apple. Cute. Oh, so lovely, aren't they? I do like the tiny stuff, don't I? It's a bit of an interesting twisty leaf. I wonder if there's a critter in it. Oh, look. Yeah, there is. Yeah, you know, whenever you see a twisty leaf like that, I think, what's going on with you? Anyway. So, bulbs are over down here. little daffodils and other bits of stuff. But we've got some self-sown nasturtiums, because I had nasturtiums here last year, and a little primula there, or primrose, whatever it's called. I just chucked a bit of muck down here the other day, and I've chucked down some, trying to think what it was now, poppy, calendula. There was something else and I've forgotten. I just had a few bits of seeds left, so I've just scattered them down here and kept them watered. And I'm just hoping we get something sort of growing here as well, something a bit nice. But we'll see, because you never know, I might forget about this and accidentally let it dry out. So, pea structure, fail. I mean, I might have put them in a bit early. I think there's a chance the mice had the alderman peas that I poked in the ground down here, because it was fairly early when I did that. I think I did see a couple of bits trying to come through and then they disappeared. So, yeah, I think they might have been taken. But I've sown some Oregon sugar snap in the gutter that's in the greenhouse. So I'm hoping I can replace them with those, really. And these are the broad beans, the super aquadulce that we sowed. I think it was early March when I sowed these. And they're all flowering beautifully. Loads of flowers on them, loads. So even though there's about half the amount of plants that I did last year, because I think I had about 45 plants last year and I've 20 this time, I think we're going to have a really good crop. Because I've still got loads left from last year. So I'm sort of, getting used to what I'm going to use and modifying how much stuff I grow. Yeah, we've got some little beans, haven't we, forming there. Look at that little baby bean. Yeah. They have been attacked a little bit by, I think it's the leaf cutter bee. You sort of see its shape on the edge of there, like a postage stamp where it's been nibbled. I think that is leaf cutter bee, I believe. But at the minute, I think we're getting away with no black fly. Yeah, looking quite clean at the minute, apart from the nibbles on the edge of the leaves. It's the same with these little Kelvedon Wonders down here as well. They're a touch nibbled on the edge, but I think they're all right. I don't think it's doing them too much harm. I think we're able to share. Yeah, they're coming through lovely. And we've got this little pea structure, these little sticks all the way around the perimeter there, just to protect this little bit from the silly fox jumping in and squashing everything, because he does like digging in corners of the beds. And we've got some beetroot, bolt-hardy beetroot there, and a few little weeds I need to hoe off again. Yeah, they're nice, because they're going to take quite a while, so as long as I can get in just a weed, which I can sort of reach to, and as long as I don't poke my eyes out or anything, but I'm being careful. A little poppy happening over there as well. But yeah, these are going to take a while, so the peas are protecting them. So those are the zabroon shallots that I grew last year and I dropped on the floor twice. And these rescued ones, there's 4 or 5 in there, I thought I'll leave those to go to seed, because once I dropped these on the floor, I couldn't get any more seed at all. It was just all sold out. So I'm thinking, if I let these go to seed, we've got seed on tap and probably all the rest at site as well for zabroon shallots for next year. And again, nice for the pollinators. So yeah, it is quite nice to let some stuff go to seed sometimes. My little chard, little overwintered chard, he's rising up now, getting ready to flower. So I need to eat this basically and get rid of it, because I don't need any more chard seed for ages, because I let that go to seed at home last year, and I've tubs and tubs and tubs of it. I have a lifetime supply. Now my sad little beetroot, my little, what were those, Chioggia ones, or however you say it, yeah, I didn't act on these quick enough. They germinated in the poor seed mix that I made, but because there's no nutrients in it, I should have really potted them on, and I didn't. It was just one of those things that I let go. So I just shoved them in the ground and thought, well, they either will or they won't they? So anyway, they're taking the chance now. They're so tiny, you can't even really sort of make out where I've put them. But I've got some other ones there. Those are the golden ones, which clearly were in a, not just in the seed mix, or in something better, those. So they're all right. And some of the leftover bolt-hardy are down here as well. So really, this bed's just turning into a little bit of a, well, this end at least, a bit of a catch-all for anything I've got spare. But it's not bad having something like that. Gives you somewhere to stuff things. And that's a bit of pheasant grass, which is meant to be going home, that. My coriander I let get away from me a bit as well, so it all started going a little bit sort of reddish, and it was struggling. And again, mare's tail, you know, popping up everywhere. Terrible stuff. So I popped it in there, and it's recovering now. It's getting a bit of green growth on it, so I caught it just before it were a bit too dead. And those are the long Florence red onions, are they? Long Florence, Rossodi, something or the other, I don't know. But yeah, they're all there. And actually, I put some tomatoes in that one, didn't I? Let's nip round. Yeah, just hastily last night when I popped up to water. These are 3 of the winter sown Roma tomatoes that were put into the greenhouse in November. So they're here now. They might be a bit close, but they're only quite a dwarf plant, these ones, aromas. So I thought I'll chance it. I'll just put 3 across here. And I don't really know what I'm doing at the front of this little one. Hello, Shadow. Yeah, I don't know what's happening at front of here yet. I'm not decided. But yeah, so they're growing away nice now. Lovely. And we've got the garlic bed with a few onions in this end. And I poked a few onions just down the edge there because I had a little bit of a gap and a few left. So they're coming on nice. I mean, it's probably quite hard to see through the net. Let's poke through the rat hole. So, can you see a bit better through there? Can you see anything? But yeah, they're doing really well. I gave them a little bit of bloodfish and bone the other day, just chucked it around willy-nilly and then watered it in. So they've had a little bit of a feed. And that should be all they'll need, really. They might be all right now, just left to their own devices. And this one next door, brassicas, they've gone out. So there's some filderkraut. I mean, I can't remember what all of these are now, but we've definitely got filderkraut. I think it was cabice, however you want to say it. Cabbage, the white one that's a bit like a lettuce, like an iceberg lettuce. There's some snow crown cauliflower, stromboli broccoli, scarlet kale, blue Scotch curled kale and cavolo nero, and then 2 9-star broccolis, and Mel sent me the seeds from those, so thank you for that, Mel. I'll put her link to her Instagram in the description box below, so check out what she's doing. She's got a lovely allotment as well. So they're looking great, those are absolutely fab. And my little strawberry bed that I planted up in one of the other videos, and I've got room down the back to put something up here. And a little, what's he called again? What is he called? Is it an endive? Chicory? No, I don't know. Anyway, him from winter, he's getting ready to flower as well, isn't he? Never mind. Put him in a bit too late. So yeah, lots of strawberries coming after my greenhouse ones, which are looking nice through there if you can see them. Right. The black currant as well. I did put a little bit of panic grass at the bottom of there. But yeah, the black currant's done brilliantly. It took lovely after planting it, and flowering up and fruiting nice. So as long as the birds don't get it before me, we'll have a little crop off this. I should net it, I know I should, I know. And then these are the first early potatoes. There's a row of Casablanca and a row of Kestrel. So when did they go in? Early April, I think that one. Yeah, I think it was sort of early April time. So they're coming on nice now, putting on loads of growth, growing really fast. You can see it by the day pretty much. And I think they're self-sown calendula from 2 years ago, actually. So I've left them in. I thought, I don't think they're weeds. I mean, there are some obviously in here that want hoeing off and whatever, but obligatory mare's tail, of course. But yeah, I think they're calendula. Let's see. Oh, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Yeah, what are you gonna do? More potatoes. Variety, can't remember. Desiree those are. Nothing in these yet, but these are meant to be for the squash, again, are those. And they're not quite ready to come up. They're out today hardening off, where when it goes round to afternoon, sun will disappear around the house and shade it a bit. So I think they're safe while I'm out here. Oh, what are you? Is that a... what's that? I want to say, is that a sunflower? Anyway. And then, this one, second from the end, more sweet corn. That's the little mini pop, you know, the little tidgy ones that you get, that you eat whole. So yeah, little mini pops. Amaranth over there. I may have put them too close together, never mind. And some straw flowers and some of the Verbena bonariensis over there. Let's go and have a close-up of those. And these are quite nice leaves, aren't they? A bit of sort of rusty colour on them. Yeah, pretty little pink straw flower. And the Verbena there. Yeah, I'm trying to get more flowers into the garden instead of just a row of veg. So a bit of something maybe on every row if I can, and just sort of enjoy it. And again, something for the pollinators. And straw flowers are fabulous though, love them. And purple sprouting broccoli, pretty much over now. I had a picking off this last night, because this one were really late. There's just a few other little bits coming on that, and then I'll have to get this out. In fact, I might be able to do something with the leaves off this, because they're lovely quality, these. This Phacelia, now this, my friend a couple of plots down grew this last year, and when she were getting rid of the old plants, I collared her and I said, hang on, give them me, because I'll put them in the compost heap. And there were loads of seed heads on it. So I saved the seed, sowed it, and sort of all down this row and down here. I did have Phacelia growing, but then of course when winter hit and it knocked it back and killed it, there were a couple that survived. So they must have just been shaded slightly in some kind of like little microclimate. But yeah, these were sown, I don't know, whenever it was, back into last year. And they sat through that winter somehow, which is quite interesting, isn't it? So they're staying in. We'll let them set seed, because again, pollinators go crazy for this, and I'll collect the seed from it. And then all down this row, we've got the elephant garlic, and I think this one's my prize specimen. That one's a really chunky one there. So they've had a little bit of feed as well and been watered in, just to give them a little bit of a boost. Because I think I'm going to get quite a lot of mono bulbs off this, because some of the cloves were quite small when I put them in. But that's fine, I'm not bothered. I was debating once whether I actually planted it or used it, because I don't think I really care much for using elephant garlic. I prefer the stronger flavour of regular garlic. And I think, to me, this is a bit of a novelty. But anyway, I did plant it. I didn't eat it, I planted it. Look again, Miss Tail. Yes. But in prep for when the broccoli comes out, I've put more straw flowers down here, hiding under there. Yeah, because these are going to come up nice and tall. I'll probably have to stake them because they'll want to flop all over. But yeah, just in prep for when these do come out and there's a bit of a space. Got some pretty flowers. I've got a spot that missed there because I run out of them. Never mind. And volunteer potatoes, because you always get them, don't you? But I've just left them. I'm not that bothered. Now, there's the big compost heap now. I've divided it up. I put a pallet in here which just fit perfectly. I've got to chop that stick off at the back there, although it don't really matter. But yeah, so I've separated it into two because this is so huge. This is a little bit more user friendly now. So we've got this side now filling, and it can be turned into there, because those three are cooking. They're doing what they do. They're getting ready of those, so they're not ready for using just yet. So I needed to be filling another one, and actually look at that. Ay caramba, what about that? Yes, that's definitely doing its thing, isn't it? And I need to make another little door for here. This one's screwed on because it's so out of square and so wonky, this. There were no way I could get the hinges on because I did try. It just wasn't working. So I've just unceremoniously screwed it to it. Where there's a will, there's a way. It's like, just deal with it and get on with something else. Oh, and there's my little bottles. I'll be using them to decant that comfrey tea. And I've got some bulbs there that I've forgotten what they are. My red currant, which is ahead of the black currant, and this does get a fair bit of shade, but they don't mind it. Self-sown nasturtiums from last year, and there's some more peas being poked into the ground there. I need to water them. I did them last night, but I'll water them again. Yeah, so hopefully then they'll climb up here nice. Let's just have a little recap of what's happening in the greenhouse. So all those mustards have been cleared out that were bolting. I've just got my little sad pak choy that's sort of dead there. He needs to get cleared out. Those are the swede that I've potted on, 2 types of swede. Little marigolds that my friend gave me. Mine have actually germinated at home, funnily enough. But anyway, when we get round to them, we'll talk about that. More of my winter sown Roma tomatoes. They're just still in their original tub. And that's one, I think that is actually the first one, even though it says collie. Hang on. No, it says Roma on that side. Yeah, so that's my first one that germinated, so it's the biggest one, is that. The lucid gem that winter germinated as well. And then all these Roma that were the winter sown ones too that are potted up. Yeah, growing on nice. They're growing at their own speed, are those. Those germinated when nature told it to, so it just sort of goes to show, doesn't it? And that's the right time for them to be that big, I guess, this year. My little carrots, had a bit of poor germination on this side here, but then I did sit a tray on top of there and didn't help it either. Blocked the light out. But yeah, I've got a few going on there. Some of my chard that's there, my saved seed chard, because I potted on some more there. So, I mean, they're about ready for going out. More little marigolds. Tub of foxgloves. And up here we've got my gutter that I've sown the Oregon sugar pod to replace the alderman that I think got moused. I've sown a few stations of borlotti beans, just what I had left out of the packet when I poked them in the ground at the back. So just in case those did sort of get eaten or dried off and failed, I put some in there, but I brought some more seed up today, so because I want quite a good crop of those, so I can sow a few more today just as an insurance policy. The strawberry basket's doing lovely. Yeah, loads. Oh, good. I can take some home. Yeah, nice. And my second one there, I think I might put that outside now. I think they do better when they're slightly cooler outside. Oh, some of my little leftover. Now, I didn't show you that. I'll have to nip out and film it. In fact, I'll splice it in right now. Yeah, last weekend I made that little planter box off the offcut of the pallet that I made the compost heap door out of. I just made a little planter out of it and put all the alpines in it, but I've got these spare, these little succulents rather. So, yeah, they're waiting for a home. Okra. They've not done too well, I must say, but I think I might poke some more seeds into the ground where I decide to put those. Yeah, they just they came up with the seed leaves and sat there and did nothing, and I'm not sure if it because it still kept dropping quite cold. I don't know, but then some of them have sort of rotted off as well. So it might be that this mix needs a little bit more drainage in it, possibly. Something's going on with that, but anyway, I've still got a few, so that's okay. Some sprouts that my pal gave me, because I didn't grow any sprouts this year. And then that's my little tub of marigolds that I did, which I don't think these enjoyed that dip in temperature either, because they were left up here, but now some of them have actually started growing, because again, time's right, but I think there might be a chance some of the other seed rotted off. So I was a bit concerned that my saved seed I wondered if it wasn't viable. So in a little tub at home, I planted some out of the original packet of seeds that I bought, and then in the other half I put the saved seed, and I covered it and put it on top of the boiler where it was nice consistent warm temperature, and all of it's germinated, so it was viable seed. I think it was just the conditions up here were still a little bit, you know, fluctuating, and I think they were getting mixed messages over what to do with themselves, but at least I know the seed's viable now. That's good. So I have got all the ones germinating at home and the ones that my friend's given me as well. So yeah, plenty of marigolds. I'm not going to be short. This is the marigold viability test that I've done lately. So that side is the packeted seed, the stuff that I bought. This side is the seed that I collected back end of last year from the ones that were inside the greenhouse, and yeah, perfectly viable, both sides absolutely fine. So yeah, it was pollinated seed. I think it must have just been the conditions after I sowed those seeds, because I mean, back into May now and it's still getting quite cold. They're reckoning 6 degrees overnight. So I think just dipping in and out of the cold temperatures and 1 or 2 light frosts after I sowed them, I think affected it from germinating. But yeah, a little bit of consistent heat with this pot put on top of the boiler with a little lid on to keep the moisture in. And it all germinated fine. Yeah, so at least that's answered that question. And it's just happenstance, isn't it? It's just one of those. But I had plenty of seeds, so we're able to sow a few batches, and I can pot these on now as well. I wish I hadn't fluffed them so much. They don't half stink. That's probably why it keeps bugs off, doesn't it? Because they don't like it either. There's a really noisy fly. Or bee. It's a bee. It's a bee in it. Go on. Go that. No. Oh. Oh dear. Oh, he freed himself. He got stuck in a spider web, but he freed himself. Drama. Foxgloves. They've been potted on, and for some reason they're doing a load worse than the ones that are all crammed into a tub, fighting for supremacy. So what's that about? What's that about? Lonely on their own, some, aren't they? Oh, a bit green in there. Need to tip that out. I've broken the curse of the mint as well, because look, it did germinate. I can grow it. Ha ha ha. That's nice, isn't it? That's not rocket. Anyway, I turfed the rocket out because hardly any of it germinated, and then it went right big and weird, and I just didn't pot it on and grass in there. But yeah, I've got some more mint. That's nice. And I did in the end finish pricking out all the celery as well. So those are the ones I did really early, where they had barely a third leaf on them. They were so tiny. I thought, this is a bit rude. Bless them, little things. You know, they're probably going to just die. But they didn't. They transplanted really well for tiny plants. Oh, one's moved out there. One's moved out there. Yeah, but plenty of celery growing on nice there. And I potted on a little bit of basil. Oh, he looks floppy. Yeah, I need to sow more of that because it didn't germinate brilliantly. So that's a different variety, is that, to these others. Oh, it's Thai basil, regular, whatever basil. Lemongrass, again, I've had a bit of a mishap there, haven't I? Oh, they don't look great, them. I've still got those there. But I do wonder if they're better maybe sown individual modules so you're not handling them. I don't know, but anyway, I've got some spares there. Never mind. It's a bit of a pain to grow from seed. I've tried before and failed growing lemongrass from seed, and then I read that if you buy the lemongrass from the supermarket, trim off the little rooty bit, the little end that's calloused over, poke it into a bit of sort of gritty soil and kind of keep it watered but not soaking, it'll start to grow, and it's a quicker root than growing TG stuff. So I tried that and I failed at that as well, didn't I? Because I filled the pot too high and then I couldn't water it very easily, and then I couldn't be bothered to do anything about it, so I didn't water it, and then yeah, it didn't do so well. User error. Yeah, user error, but anyway, I'm trying it, and I've got the seeds, so I thought I'll try it again. Loads of straw flower that need to go home. Yeah. Oh, he might be a bit dry, a bit floppy. Verbena. Got some potted on black ball, cornflower and cosmos there. My little Dorrit sunflowers are doing great. My bullseye, not great. My red sun, not great. Got one little funky one. Titan, not great. I've got one that's coming right now, Titan. It's such a diva, this, for me. I find it really difficult to grow. It grows upright, weak and corkscrew-like. To say it's meant to be a huge sunflower with a massive head on it, I've always struggled with it, but I've brought up some saved seed from 2021 because I put loads in here, and I'm going to put loads more in, see if I can get some more growing. So I'm a bit kind of determined with that. I'm not going to do a lemongrass on it either. I'm going to keep trying, but put some effort into it. Spare amaranth, spare verbena, little tree spinach, which is ever so lovely. Oh, I do like that. So cute. So pink in the middle. And the agastache hyssop in the back of there, and a couple more little germinated tree spinach. Yeah. So yeah, that's the greenhouse. Although I forgot to mention these, more beans. Yeah, I've got some beans growing under there. Oh, in fact, they might be coming now, so I need to take this lid off and give them a bit of water. But yeah, mini greenhouse within the greenhouse there with that lid on. Yeah, that's the greenhouse anyway. But today I'm going to evict, well, nearly all of what's in here, because it's time to start prepping for putting the tomatoes in proper. So yeah, I'm going to take a lot of stuff out. I'm going to get it cleaned on the inside, because I did the outside after work the other day. I snuck up and just quickly washed the outside of it with my window brush and a little bit of eco-friendly soap. Yeah, and try and get this turned around ready for when the tomatoes are coming up, which is pretty soon. I'm slightly behind with the tomatoes. Well, I say this year, or last year as well, but it don't matter, they do catch up. But yeah, I need to sort out in here. There's one other thing that's been a big change as well, at least for this growing season. Across from my plot, across the plot path, there's another allotment which was given up this year, and a couple that had taken on a plot right up at the top, which is quite an awkward one. It were really, really badly overgrown and difficult access as well. They've moved down to this other plot. But let me swap arms, because the phone's surprisingly heavy. It might just be me that's really weak. But because they don't want to take it all on all this year, they've actually said to me, do I want to actually use the front part of the allotment? So I've not measured it, but I was just eyeballing it and thinking it's about 5 or 6 metres, be about probably 8 metres wide. And it's all been sheeted from the previous person as well. There's a lot of docks coming through, and there is mare's tail on that side as well, but it's not as bad as what we've got on this side at all. So I have actually started gardening it. I've dug a little strip, and I've put in some potatoes and some peas and just a few little bits of seeds and planty bits at the front, some straw flowers and some of the panic grass again, and I put some little bulbs in as well. So I'm going to see if I can get on and do a bit more digging of that today, but it depends how long this takes. But because it's getting a bit noisy over that end, because I think the Little Growing Works garden has got a group turning up at some point. There's a lot of people milling about over there, so I'm going to go and film it and do a little bit of gesticulating and pointing, but I'll voice over it. And I'll show you what we've got, at least for this year. So here's my plot over there, and just across the little plot path, here's the one on the other side, and it's all this bit at the front here that I've been given, kind of up to where you can see that tree in the middle. And I've cordoned this little tiny corner off, and I've put a few little bits of panic grass in there, and because I have dug this, it is all the seeds are germinating, aren't they, all the weeds. And we've just got a few bits of potatoes up there, a couple of rows of shallots I've put in. And I'm going to continue that wood edging up there and demarcate it a bit. And all down this side as well, all up that front bit, just to give me something to strim up to and try and neaten it. But it goes right to that compost bin, right the way around there. I haven't measured it yet, I don't know how big it is. But we've got some straw flower in and some peas. There's my little pink straw flower, looking nice. Slugs have missed it. And there's some little short Kelvedon wonder peas that were grown in the gutter in the greenhouse as well. So yeah, all this wants digging over. We need to have a little bonfire over there. Loads of docks to take out. A few bits of mare's tail, not as bad as the other side, hence why I'm digging it all out and getting rid of this one. But yeah, I brought up some bags of chicken manure. And I've dug a load of docks out and put some cardboard edging up here just to clear it a bit better. But yeah, look, I've missed a few, haven't I? They do grow really quick. But I brought up a couple of spare compost heaps, these Daleks from home. And this one here, I've already completely filled it. Oh, another dock. But yeah, that one's already got a load of stuff in it now, is that? And that's my neighbour's plot. That's the other half of theirs that they're doing with those raised beds, and they already had that pond. Yeah, all the way up to there, up to his little bonfire that we're going to have. And yeah, I don't know how much of it I'll sort, but it all wants clearing. And then I've got more room. So yeah, it's good, isn't it? Having all that extra bit to do. I mean, slightly stressful because now I've got to do something with it, but at least it's mostly covered, so it's going to keep the weeds down to a certain degree. And we'll just see how we get on this year, just using it. But I'm not going to be building too many structures or anything like that, nothing permanent over there, because after 12 months they may well say that they want it back, and you know, the time that it takes to do all that. I'd rather just try and dig it over, get the mare's tail out, and then just grow some things in it, just more potatoes, a few more brassicas, just a few things like that, some flowers, sunflowers if they ever germinate. And yeah, just try and get it used, at least get something growing in the ground and get the soil improved and the rest of it. But yeah, it's another little challenge, isn't it? A little bit more work and fun to do. And yeah, we'll give you some updates on how that looks as it evolves. But thank you so much for watching, and I mean, let me know how your gardens are getting on. Have you had anything that's really challenging you this year, you know, like sunflowers are doing for me for some daft reason? Don't forget to like and subscribe as well if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.